Today we have a hand featuring Rosey from NextGenPoker, where Rosey's against a player who is consistently applying a lot of aggression before the flop. 3-betting, leaning on Rosey, stealing all the small pots, and today we're going to discuss how to combat this type of player, and also how to play on a monotone flop where it's 3 of the same suit. Let's get right to it.
All right, let's turn it around. We got jacks again in the cutoff this time. We've opened to $20, and the small blind has 3-bet us to 70. Now, little tidbit, this was a very nice gentleman, but this is the 4th time he's 3-bet us today, and I'm tired of it. We've got a great 4-bet candidate versus small blind 3-bet anyways, so let's just go for it. I make it $175, but he does make the call.
All right, let's talk about this right off the bat. We are Rosey playing good, strong, tight, aggressive poker, not too out of line. We raised it up in the cutoff. The same very nice player 3-bets us again for the 4th time. All right, from a GTO point of view, playing about 150 big blinds deep like they are, you really don't want to do a whole lot of 4-betting from in position because you really don't want to 4-bet any non-premium hand and then get shoved on because then you have to fold it or make a gigantic call. Now, I do know that Rosey plays in very loose, splashy, battly games, so the GTO strategy may not apply. But from the GTO point of view, you should be 4-betting with aces, kings, ace-king suited, and then a smattering of ace-x suited. And that's about it. You can certainly justify 4-betting with jacks sometimes, but I think for the most part, you're going to just want to call in the spot because the hand flops pretty well. We're in position, and we really don't want to 4-bet and then get shoved because even though this player has been 3-betting us a lot, we have no clue what that actually means about their 5-betting strategy. They may only 5-bet with the nuts. They may 5-bet with all sorts of stuff. Who knows? And I have to imagine if we do 4-bet here against this particular opponent, we probably got to call it off, which is going to be rough because we're going to be flipping or behind a lot of the time in that spot. But fine, we do decide to put in the 4-bet. The opponent calls.
Off to a flop, which comes king 7-4, all spades. He checks. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I'm actually not sure whether to c-bet or not in the moment. In hindsight, I think we can c-bet here and deny a lot of equity that is able to be had on a board like this. I, however, in the moment, do not like the board, and I check it back.
All right. What I want you to do is I want you to take a second, think about what you would do in this spot, and pause the video. Would you do what Rosey did and check it back, or would you put in a bet? Pause the video and write what you would do really quick in the comment section below. I'll be here when you get back. So this is a situation where I think in general you want to bet frequently and small. You want to use a small size in the spot because we have a lot of ace of spades in our range. We have a lot of kings in our range. And if you think about that 4-bet bluffing range from a GTO point of view, we have some flushes, some nut flushes. Also, we have some hands like ace-3 of hearts that really does not mind putting out a small bet and picking up the pot. We also have hands like these pocket jacks, where if the opponent does have some loose, splashy 3-bet with a hand like ace of spades 10 or ace with a 10 of spades, they're going to have to call, and we just get a little bit more money in the pot with what is the best hand at the moment. So if you think about most of our range in this scenario, because it is so good and strong, we just want to put a little bit more money in the pot. You don't want to use giant bets in this spot because if we did have a flush already, we don't want our opponent to fold. If we had a king and we rip all of our money in or make some gigantic bet, and the opponent does stick around, we're often not in great shape. And that's especially true when they have a hand like pocket jacks. So this is a spot where I think you're just going to want to bet frequently and small, and perhaps even close to every single time you want to put a bet in the pot. So I would have gone for a small bet of something like $80 here. If you do bet and the opponent does decide to raise, you cannot fold any hand with a spade and a pair. We're playing for all the money. And I know a lot of people are very uncomfortable playing for a lot of the money without the nuts. But if you think about the opponent's range to check raise and get it in this spot, it's going to be a lot of kings, sometimes with a spade, sometimes without a spade. And we're, 35, 40-ish% against that. Also, they could have just the ace of spades, like ace of spades queen, ace of spades jack, ace of spades 10, and they may decide to blast it. They may decide to get really frisky with a hand like ace with a 10 of spades that we're in great shape against. So this is certainly a dicey spot, but I think the best course of action is to just bet small. Because if you think about what's going to happen on a lot of turns, the opponent's going to bet, we're going to have to call, and then on a lot of rivers, they're going to jam. And now we're stuck in this rough bluff catching spot, which is not really where you want to be for all your money, unless you know your opponent's going to be overly loose, aggressive, and badly. If you know they're going to be bluffing the turn and the river with all sorts of junk, then you can just easily check it back on the turn, or check it back on the flop, call a turn bet, call a river bet, win the money most of the time. So if you do think your opponent is a very nice gentleman, but also insane, then checking it back on the flop and then calling down on pretty much any runouts actually not a bad play at all. Let's see how this plays out.
The turn is the 5 of clubs, and he now leads for 150. This is another issue with not c-betting the flop. It's tough to know where we're at when he bets here. If we c-bet the flop and he calls, we would likely get a free river. I think our hand, however, is too strong to fold at this point. I do make the call. We're off to a river, pretty big pot, hoping for a clean one. It's the queen of clubs.
Slow down, Rosey. All right. When the opponent bets the turn, I'm actually very happy about this spot, because we have a hand that can very easily call a turn bet, and in my mind, pretty easily call a river bet if this very nice player is actually 3-betting us a ton. You gotta remember, if this player's 3-betting us a ton, yeah, they're gonna have some nuts in their range with ace-x of spades. They're gonna have some random kings with, like, I don't know, king-queen offsuit. But if you think about their range, it really shouldn't contain a whole lot of kings, because he did call the 4-bet. And also, it should just contain a lot of ace of spades queen, ace of spades jack, ace of spades 10 maybe. And then also, the opponent could have just a lot of thin-ish value bets with hands like pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s, with or without a spade, for all I know. That's just hoping to pick up the pot or hoping to clean up their equity. So I'm actually pretty happy about this spot so far, especially if I think my opponent's a little bit more on the loose and aggressive side. River's a queen, though. That's not particularly good, because now ace-queen gets there, whether it was the ace of spades or the queen of spades. Also, if the opponent did have a random loose queen of spades jack, or queen of spades 10 that just got there, this is actually a pretty bad river.
And he checks.
Opponent checks the river. Do we ever rip in the bluff? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going to fold a king here. The question is, will they ever fold a queen? I have to presume a king's going to value bet the river. A queen will check, and the question is will a queen check and then fold? We have 2/3 pot left. Probably not. It's probably best just to check it back here. Notice in this scenario, if we don't think we can get a whole lot of queens to fold, or any better hands to fold, we're not getting any better hands to fold. The question then becomes, do we get any value from worse hands if we bet? Can we get value from pocket 10s or pocket 9s if we bet? Probably not. So I think this is a fine hand just to check it back. But if you do think your opponent will have a hand like a queen in the spot a lot, because they'll bet a king and better, and you think they're never going to check looking to trap you with a flush or with a set or something like that, then you have the best hand every time unless they have a queen. But if they'll fold the queen and you win all the other times as well, it actually becomes very free to bet, because then you just win the times they have the queen as well. But I don't think that's actually going to happen all that often, and a lot of players will just find a call with a queen, or they will check with some flushes or check with some sets, looking to set you up and trap you. So fine spot to check it back. Let's see if Rosey finds the check back.
Happy to get to showdown here. Obviously don't like seeing a card higher than our jacks again. I check it back, and he shows ace queen with the ace of spades.
Bummer. The opponent did have the ace queen. Yeah, I mean, really, I don't mind the way Rosey played this hand. I probably would just bet small on the flop with pretty much my entire range, and if your opponent did check raise you here, you just have to go with it, which is gross. Feels a little bit unfortunate, but I don't really see any other way around it, given the opponent is especially battly. Then on the turn they bet, all you can do is call, give them every opportunity to stay in with a potential bluffing hand like ace of spades X or a queen of spades going to the river. And if the river is a blank and they rip it in on you, you can catch a lot of bluffs. But on the ace or the queen river in particular, it's pretty bad, and I think you just end up losing the pot a lot. And Rosey lost the pot, but Rosey didn't get stacked. Well, lost a little. Just a flesh wound. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to lose the small and medium pots, and to be fair, it's even okay to lose the big pots. Sometimes when you're in there battling against players who are 3-betting you very frequently, you're going to lose big pots, and that is okay. But if you play these pots more often than not in position with good strong ranges, you are going to crush these players in the long run, because they're playing out of position with presumably a little bit more loosey-goosey junky ranges. That's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a quick favor. Click the like and subscribe buttons down below. Also, make sure you follow NextGenPoker on YouTube, TikTok, Tinder, Twitch, wherever you enjoy consuming good poker content from 3 of the most fun players in the poker community, bringing the fun back to the game. I appreciate all the work they are doing. Good luck in your games. Have fun. And I'll talk to you next time.